primary ignition.
What's up, guys? I'm Emily Swallow. If you're looking at this, you're watching the Virtual Cantina Network. This is the way.
This is the way. Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys. Happy Monday. Happy New York Comic Con kickoff week.
Yes.
It's going to be busy. We've got some Star Wars Rebels to watch tonight. We're going to do some 0 Hour. I wore blue for Thrawn because I don't have a Thrawn shirt. And I would argue that these might be the best Thrawn episodes in the season, right?
Absolutely. He's so calculating in this episode. It's insane. So
definitely showcases his military prowess, and I feel like they were holding that back a lot in season 3. One of the criticisms I think we got in season 3 was that the rebels escape, they sort of foil his plans. He thinks it's okay because he got some type of win. He crushes them this time. So if you're looking for a big Thrawn win, which
this is the payoff.
Yeah, which we also just watched in Ahsoka. He kicked all the ass in Ahsoka. Who are we kidding, right? Like Thrawn won. So you're going to see it again tonight, kids. By the way, hi, Mike. Thanks for joining.
Yay!
I finally cut my hair. I'm going to take this off for a second.
Ooh, very chic. I'm cutting mine tomorrow. So we'll see.
Yeah. I did all of the things that I've been meaning to do because it was Toy Fair 2 weekends ago. New York Comic Con is this weekend, and so I got my hair cut. I bought a car recently. I don't know if I mentioned that. Like, I had to buy a new car because my old car, my Cobalt, died finally. It was her time, but I have a new car. And there's just like things that needed to get done. Chores around the house. We have a friend staying with us for New York Comic Con, and so we were cleaning. And it's just all the kind of stuff that would, like, once you lose a weekend to work, and from working odd hours and stuff, like, it just gets away from you. Mm-hmm. So that was us all weekend. I don't think, other than going out very briefly to get my hair cut, I didn't leave the apartment.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. Man. What did you do this past week, Ashley?
I worked like crazy, and I worked on some art that I have upcoming, and caught up on Loki. Like, I rewatched Loki again. The first time I've seen it since it's aired, and I haven't watched the new episode yet, so hold off on that.
No, there's only one.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
But, we didn't watch season 2 yet. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So, but I've seen in the trailers that Ke Huy Quan is in it. So
prominently featured.
Yes, as he deserves. And
yeah,
I'm excited about that. But I'm all caught up now. It was nice to have a refresher and notice some things that I might have missed the first time around, like how funny the Lokis are when they all get into the void and
the fight, especially in the with President Loki and the alligator and everything, is spectacular.
The screaming of the hand. Yeah. And I still jumped out of my skin when Miss Minutes is like, "Hey, y'all!"
Oh, it's definitely one of the scariest moments in all of TV.
Even when you know
scare is well earned,
you're still not prepared. And
yeah.
Yay, Tara Strong.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Sherry. Oh, Jeff is producing with us tonight.
Yeah. He's back from the desert.
I was going to say he had a great weekend in the desert. It's weird. Last week was all about Ahsoka, and I think we're still talking about Ahsoka. I'm still seeing new YouTube videos go up. And I think very foolishly, Disney didn't give it time to breathe, and they aired Loki like 48 hours later. And I think people were still finishing up their wrap-up videos as they were getting ready to on-ramp Loki. And you need more room. Like, there almost needed to be a week between where there's like a Disney gallery and time for everyone to breathe, and then like
there wasn't. Like, honestly, they've done
Well,
I can't remember
it's
them
the
doing that.
strike, right? So if they weren't able to record anything before the series started, they certainly can't do anything now. I mean, every piece of promotional material that I saw for Ahsoka was pre-recorded, from like clearly things that would have been in an EPK and maybe even things that would have been in the gallery episode, and they were using it on YouTube to like promote the series because they couldn't put anyone on
Celebration. Yeah.
television. Yeah, so that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there'll be a gallery. Maybe there will be. Maybe it'll just be some other extras that they piece together into some type of behind the scenes. But I felt like the build up to Loki really was overshadowed by the finale of Ahsoka, which got, I think, everyone talking. Right.
Totally.
Um,
Yeah.
I enjoyed our multi-host extravaganza on Wednesday. It was really fun. Um, we had a lot of differing opinions on what people liked, what people didn't like. We
Turtles.
did, I think, all agree though that the show had like a lot, right? Like Thrawn and Sabine and Ahsoka and Purgles and Witches of Dathomir and the New Republic and just so many different and Balin chasing down Mortis. Like the Mortis payoff at the end when it finally answered like what is he looking for, but yet it still didn't fully answer the question. It just gave us like it literally pointed in the direction, but it didn't get us
It's
there.
over there.
Yeah, yeah, loved it.
And that's one hell of a last shot
Yeah,
of Grace Stevenson. Like if you're gonna honor somebody who was a larger than life actor and brought so much gravitas and so much um, warmth to the cast and crew, by all accounts that I've heard, um, that was the way.
yeah, yeah. That was the way to do it.
Standing on the
Um,
shoulder of a giant. Yeah.
yeah. And then not a day later, I saw the mural that I had been talking about prior, where it was like Anakin in the middle, Ahsoka on one side, and Darth Maul on the other side.
Yeah, I saw that
Um,
one today. Finally, I
yeah,
saw what you were talking about, and I was like, I guess that
yeah.
kind of makes sense.
In theory, I mean, Darth Maul is the problem there, but
Mhm.
I also think it's kind of ridiculous that people from the same exact time period would be replacing these gods. It's like the people we know that are in everything that we've seen, the same 50 characters. I always joke about how that's Star Wars' biggest problem, that they all know each other. So yeah. I know. Who's the kitty over here? He's just out of shot. I'm gonna turn the camera
Oh,
slightly, see if you can see him. Who's
poor
the baby?
buddy.
There he is.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
I
like,
know.
he's like,
He needs
love
love and
me.
attention.
Look at
Yeah,
me.
I know, he's a good boy. Yes, he likes to stand up and beg. Watch him beg.
Oh,
Isn't that
please, please,
crazy?
please. He's so cute.
And he's got his little. We call him Father Hicks because he's got the little white patch right there, so it looks like a priest collar. I know. This is how he. Come on, you don't want to sit on my lap though. He's not a lap cat, so you have to pick him up and like throw him over your shoulder and then carry him around. Um, but if I'm lifting weights, which that's my bench right there, like I will have my weights up and then all of a sudden he'll be on my chest. So that's a nightmare. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
Jason, help!
I can't lift this
Yeah,
cat.
yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah. Oh no, Jason keep running because I said Jason help. No, it's fine. I'm fine. He was. I'm talking about Hicks, and I'm talking about how he jumps on me when I'm lifting weights. Yeah,
Sorry, Jason.
he's
False
adorable.
alarm.
False alarm! False alarm! We also, while we were home this weekend, we're trying to start off spooky season, which we were going to be doing some spooky stuff across the VCN. So we watched Totally Killer, which was really, really fun. It's on Amazon Prime or Amazon Video or one of those. And it's an 80s-esque slasher with time travel. Set in modern day, they flash back to the 80s to solve an unsolved murder. And it's very 80s and really fun and free on streaming. So
Go for it.
I highly recommend. It stars the girl who plays Sabrina in the new Sabrina
Kiernan
show.
Shipka. She's the
Yes.
voice of Jinora in Legend of Korra.
Oh,
Avatar. Tenzin's oldest daughter and Avatar Aang's oldest grandchild.
oh, okay. See, I know her as Sabrina, of course. Oh,
Yeah.
do you want to come up? You can come up.
Oh, Mike watched The Exorcist Believer. How was it? I heard about the twist, so which is fine. I'm not a horror movie
Yeah.
buff, so spoilers are totally welcome in my my life, so I don't have to watch it. But
There's
I'm most excited for I think it drops on the 12th, so Friday. The Fall of the House of Usher by
Oh, yeah,
Mike
yeah.
Flanagan. So it
Yeah.
stars Mark Hamill and the rest of like Raul Coley,
The rest of his mafia.
yeah, the
Yeah.
the Flaniverse crew.
Flaniverse.
I told him I called it that, and he
Yeah.
laughed. So when I met him, but I am so excited for that. And Sherry watched the new Haunted Mansion. How was that? I've got it on my watch list, and I really
It's
want
cute.
to see it.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, Sherry, I liked it.
Oh, good.
Mike, I'm actually
Mike.
Exorcist Believer is a license of ours, and if you know the
Nice.
demon that pops up in, and I won't spoil anything, but guess what? There's a demon in the Exorcist movie. We're going to be working on something for next year because you know they're doing a trilogy. So Exorcist Believer, and then we were just making fun of the name, so we're like the next one will be Golden Retriever. So we were just having a great time with that. But honestly, I don't know what any of it's going to be happening, but it did well at the box office. We also watched No One Will Save You. Is that what it was
I
called?
heard that one was pretty freaky too. It's just very like one line
So-
of dialogue.
There's very little dialogue. On top of that, it's weird because now with horror movies, you really need a point of view, right? It can't just be like a standard slasher. Like the Totally Killer is both time travel and 80s and unsolved. Almost, and there's a podcast component to it, right?
Yeah.
So the No One Will Save You is like I don't want to give away exactly what it is, but I think it's clear from the trailers that there's an invasion of some type, and so
Mhm.
this girl is very isolated. And there was a movie that came out years ago. I think it was called Hush, where it's about a deaf woman who's being stalked, and so there's also almost no
Oh, yeah,
dialogue.
that's another Flaniverse movie.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That movie was great. This one has that same sort of feeling to it. Even she's not deaf, by the way, but she is highly ostracized and isolated. So that same type of thing applies, where it's like just her. So in some ways, and by the way, you know my, I love Signs, which is a movie that is like it's got a lot of complication to it, right? Because of who stars in it. Signs is a great movie. Mel Gibson aside, and but that movie feels a lot like Signs in some ways. So
Oh yeah.
it's got a lot of good stuff in it like that. Meanwhile, it looks like we have some like a lot of people in the chat tonight. Yeah, Hunter Signs was great. So we are going to be doing some spooky stuff here on the channel. So tonight is 0 Hour Part 1. Next week is 0 Hour Part 2. Then we're doing, I think, the episode you've been most waiting for, Ashley.
Chopper's greatest hits. and by hits I don't mean like, oh, this is his best episode. No, I mean Chopper's a hit man. Everybody
Mhm.
dies. So
We're actually really trying to figure out if it's going to be his like best moments or his best kills or best assaults or because I think the violence of Chopper, like a murder droid special, could be fun because we could always come back and do like Chopper's funniest moments. Like he's in every episode, so I think we should do like Chopper violence, like full on, like Chopper's greatest hits, like
Chopper
truly
Wick.
hits. Yeah, yeah. I think that's where we go, and then we're gonna do our Halloween Spooktacular on the 30th, which is very exciting. So, and that'll be live because last year we did a pre-record because Halloween was on a Monday.
Oh yeah, we were all prepared for that though. It was so fun. So fun.
Yeah, good times. I
I
gotta
don't
figure
know
out
how
what
we're
I'm
gonna.
wearing.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna top it this year, man. I'll have to go
Yeah.
through my closet.
Yeah, and we encourage all of you to dress up. Not that we can see you or anything. Oh yeah, we need a body count counter instead of a timestamp, Sherry. It's incalculable. What's the line from Mean Girls? The limit does not exist. That's where we are with Chopper's kill count. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll definitely talk Night Sisters on the Spooktacular. I'm trying to figure out like if we want to talk about our scariest moments, the scariest characters. Like we could do, we've got plenty of time to figure that out.
Yeah.
Tonight is actually what I would think is scary in some ways, not scary, spooky, Halloween, whatever, but certainly a moment for the rebels where things are not going to go their way. And I was surprised when the episode aired. It aired as a two-parter, 0 Hour, the season 3 finale. When it aired, I'm glad they didn't leave us hanging because those finales they like to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
We did. The rebels don't win. They don't make it out. Many of them make it out alive, right? But there is a body count.
The Empire Strikes Back of Rebels.
Yes, without a doubt. This whole season feels that way, right? Like
Totally.
you're dealing with a lot of darkness in season 3 with Darth Maul's whole exploring the dark side with Ezra. everything going on with Saw Gerrera, all the stuff going on with Mandalore. It's just a really bleak season.
Yeah.
And then it ends in a way that they're all on it actually feels like Hoth, right? So like you're saying, Empire Strikes Back, they get found out and they have to flee, and it doesn't go very well. So we're gonna watch part of that tonight. Yay!
Jazz hands, and we're gonna leave you in a cliffhanger if you haven't seen it before.
Yeah, we're just doing part 1, and then we'll come back next week to see the utter destruction. But I do want to talk a little bit about this episode because, man, the voice cast, like, obviously Taylor Gray, Vanessa Marshall, Freddie Prinze, Steve Bloom, Dave Filoni, they're all in it every episode. They're and tremendous, right? D. Bradley Baker plays Constantine. He's not just our Rex; he also plays Constantine. It was a big role in this episode.
Very versatile.
He's fantastic. You can put him in anything. He could do the whole show,
yeah.
by the way. Like, it could just be him, and we'd be good. David Oyelowo, who plays Agent Kallus, and then Tom Baker is the Bendu. The Bendu also has a huge presence in this episode. Our boy Keone Young, one of our first guests on the show, is Commander Sato. He has some of his big moments. Michael Bell, who plays General Dodonna, and while it doesn't have a huge role in Rebels, he's all over your 80s cartoons. Like, you look him up in his IMDb, he's been in a lot of stuff, G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Like, you've heard his voice.
Transformers, yeah.
Yep. He's in a lot of it. Our girl Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, who not only is one of the best villains in all of Star Wars, she's also the voice director for a lot of
Resistance, among other things.
She's constantly gigging. Lars, who we've now had the treat of watching in live action, and now we're going to hear his Rebels version. It is slightly different, right? Did you pick up on like the slight differences in his voice?
Also, years have gone by. It's been like 10 years, so you tend to get more of a baritone in your voice, and it's out of the real life circumstances of things. Also, he's been on a strange planet doing we don't know what for the last 10 years, I guess. So you never know.
Mm-hmm. And it's not that it's like inaccurate or anything.
No.
In Rebels, it's more grandiose, I think, and then in live action, he actually pulls it back a little because I think he might sound insane if we were seeing like live action and voice acting. You have to sell it a little harder, I think, in animation.
But also, I think it's because he's actually leading an army in Rebels, and you kind of tend to have that grandiose, like type of air to you. Whereas when you're stranded on like this strange planet for 10 years and you're like literally scrapping together to survive, the whole front is gone and you're just like a little more like blunt with your direction. So
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm noticing in the comments we have one person who's not connected their StreamYard. So Aaron, who's on Facebook, connect to StreamYard so we can see you on YouTube because I see you as Facebook user on YouTube. But if you have the chops to do Kallus, we got to see it the next time you're out.
Yes.
And then continuing in our voice cast, Lars Mikkelsen, Stephen Stanton, who comes back as Tarkin, Genevieve O'Reilly, who's Mon Mothma, who I love. I love Stephen too. Clancy Brown, who we saw in live action as Ryder Azadi, and then Nathan Kress, who plays Wedge. So it is a killer voice cast for this episode. And then in part 2, the Mandalorians arrive. So you get who's everyone who's missing, right? So you get Tia Sircar, you get Ritesh Rajan as Tristan Wren, you get Sharmila Devar as Ursa Wren. It is a moment. Kevin McKidd pops in as Fen Rao. Matthew Wood is playing the Death Troopers. It is quite a two-parter.
Oh yeah, that card is stacked. There's so much craziness in this episode. And what better way to start it off?
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy town kind of episode. Before we get into it, with Thrawn, I was thinking about we saw him in like 4 of the 8 episodes in Ahsoka, and I'm thinking about just how successful he was in that show. Right, he made a pact with the Night Sisters of Dathomir, had them, I guess, send a telepathic message to Morgan Elsbeth, right, through dreams or whatever, and have her find where he was, get the map, build the hyperdrive ring, right, by infiltrating the New Republic government, right, at the shipyard, built
Yeah.
the giant ring, got the ship into the ring, flew to the planet, rescued him, and then and they're back, and they're back in the known galaxy, and he has like tons of boxes with him that maybe they're corpses, maybe they're Night Sisters to reanimate, maybe they're,
Gold.
I don't know. I think that
That's
they
a
look like
lot of
coffins.
gold. Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand, but that's a lot of gold that's been patching together the ship, the
Oh,
armor,
that's true.
everything. So it's like,
Yeah.
where are you getting that?
Yeah. This is pop
Also,
collection.
I absolutely.
Maybe
I know it'd be mine if that was on my planet, but whatever.
Star Wars collectibles.
I do have to say, at the end of that episode, I really felt horrible for Morgan.
Yeah.
Like, I know she kind of deserves it, but she's a pawn in all this. Like, they
little bit.
literally burned her face and
Yeah.
gave her that power to be a distraction so they could get away. And they knew that it ultimately was going to cost her life.
Oh,
They
without a
had to have
doubt.
seen that.
I was like,
And
she's
she
being
was a
set up.
pawn. She was
Yeah.
totally set up, and I just felt like it was like, ah, man.
You know, collateral damage. She served her purpose. He didn't say the words she served her purpose. I think he said something like she did what was required of her.
Yeah, but
And I
that's
was
the
like,
same thing, and it's
Yeah.
just like, ugh.
yeah. I do think that Diana was incredible in that
Her
role.
so much.
Um,
She's great.
and is one of the many MVPs of this show. Her and Balin with Ray were just like incredible. Shin was terrific. I thought most the cast all delivered, right? Like everyone delivered in the cast, but like in particular, I'm just sad that we're not going to see Morgan anymore because like she was
No.
a terrific villain, and I love the level up. I knew though when she got out there, I was like, I don't think that she's going to make it out alive. Like I was placing my bets, and it just seemed, and as things were progressing, I was like, oh, she seems to be the most expendable of
Yeah.
the group,
And that kind of made me sad because, ultimately they don't care, means to an end kind of thing.
Yeah. And in theory, like, is that something that she was okay with, right? Because she says for Dathomir to, bring back the Night Sisters and her legacy, she won't get to live to see it. But that's also like a common trope in Star Wars, right? Especially on the good guys' side. You plant the tree, but you don't get to experience the shade from that tree. Like, is
Typical
that
Star
something
Wars.
that she was okay with? I don't know. I don't know if she'll ever be okay with that. She seems relatively selfish, but like she's doing it for her people, her culture.
Yeah, and that's where I think now that I'm thinking of it, and now that you've said that, like I think you're absolutely right. I think those are Night Sister bodies in there, and they're trying to bring back the Night Sisters
Mhm.
and the known galaxy. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that we're going to be dealing with an army of zombie Night Sisters in my live action Star Wars. Can you believe it?
That's exciting.
Yeah, we're going to do a VCN watch along, I think in a couple weeks, on the Night Sisters episodes of Clone Wars. So that'll be really, really fun because we haven't done those before. And they are some wild, messed up episodes, and they are bleak. Yeah, bleak and awesome. And we were just talking about Asajj a couple weeks ago.
Possession and brutality and spookiness and
really weird stuff.
Sacrifice. Yeah, just bananas. So
yeah. Oh, crazy. Well, until we get to Night Sister armies of zombies, we should jump into the Rebels episode tonight, which is a little more grounded, but it still gets super, super weird. The Bendu, toward the end, I mean, it gets wild and weird, guys. So it starts off as like a military mission where Thrawn is going to destroy everything, and he does. But boy, does it get weird in the end, which is what we love about Rebels.
Yep. No qualms about the weird.
Yep. All right, so everyone get out your Disney Plus and queue up Star Wars Rebels. It's season 3, episode 21, 0 Hour Part 1.
Yes. I agree. I would have loved to see the Bendu show up in live action. Like, I know why it can't, because obviously we're not on Lothal anymore, but, it would have been cool. All
right. Dave, are you ready to hit the countdown?
Jeff.
Dave, yes. Jeff. Also Jeff.
Oh,
And the
come
wheel
on,
spins
Blues.
and spins.
I know. Okay, we got the double moons. Here we go.
Damn it, Jeff. Where's Jeff?
Work my ass off, Jeff.
Work my ass off.
Why is the closed captioning never on? I always.
Oh, Constantine, you nope. Like even his shuttle is just elegant. Like he's just.
So we don't see Death Troopers all that often.
Mm-mm.
But I was watching the Recon episode, and they were saying that Grand Admiral Thrawn gets Death Troopers because the Empire has deemed him important enough to have them for this mission.
Callous on a mission.
Mhm. And apparently those little mouse droids are everywhere, which is why they would make a good espionage tool.
I'm shocked no one's used them like this beforehand.
It must have been done at some point, because I don't think that Callus came up with this. This is such a setup.
And those who are calling Thrawn Ronald McDonald, like Thronald McDonald, saying he ate a whole bunch of fries, like come on, you guys, no body shaming. Not
Yeah, I don't understand. Well, one, I don't understand what's wrong with people. But yeah, he's also like significantly older. He's not going to be in supermodel shape on that planet.
Nope. And his military training, I don't think he's been able to do so much. So
No, I also suspect that he might have been stabbed. Like that little, like on his uniform over here, the re-sewing looked like a stab mark kind of thing. Like he's been through something.
whether it be from the Renegades or what have you, yeah,
Yeah. Also, animation makes everyone look thinner.
it's called style. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody's head really looks like that. So
Yeah.
in real life,
The Count Dooku head, that's my favorite. It's insane. Yeah. Shanked by a space whale, probably.
probably.
Look, the injuries that you must have sustained while jumping in hyperspace in an open kind of how many crew members died on the ship just from jumping in hyperspace, right? Because half the windows were blown out, half the ship was like destroyed, it was partially destroyed.
Yeah.
Like there must have been numerous people killed instantly from that. So I'm sure everyone was severely injured. Chopper less so.
Book of Jedi.
Rook is dead, Dave, by this point. But I love that in the books it was Rook who killed him. So I feel like them killing Rook in Rebels was such a big mistake. And I don't talk often about how there are major mistakes in Rebels, but I think that was a big one. Like, yeah, I like Rook as a character, and I thought he was really underused in Rebels. And especially when you had, like, there was a weird lizard guy played by Seth Green in season 4 that you could have just, like, subbed in, and it didn't need to be Rook, and it could have been, like, that guy. Like, you know, you could have saved Rook for this live action kind of thing.
There's Commander Sato.
So everyone who hasn't heard our bonkers off the wall interview with Keone Young,
So
it was
fun.
me and Jamie, and we had the time of our lives because the man has stories. Go back into our playlist on YouTube and search for Star Wars Rebels Revisited Keone Young. You will be blown away by the stuff he has to say because, like, we had a list of questions, and you know when you just throw out the cards and you're like, just let him go. Like it was that, which was great. Like he came prepared with like the things he wanted to tell us about, and was just so easy to talk to, and was
The
so
man's a
fun.
legend in the industry, so he had some stories, and
Yeah.
it was such a great watch. Yeah.
Things that I couldn't have anticipated. Because you know how sometimes it's like, okay, here's all the stuff we know about Star Wars, and here's what I know about your career, and here are the things we're going to ask. And then out of nowhere, he'll say the most insane kind of stuff, and it's like, wait a minute, we need to pivot to that. I was like, tell me about working with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, it's the kind of thing where, like, you don't know you're going to go down that road. It was just wild. So, oh yeah, and by the way, this was all set up, Thrawn and Callus. Like, he was obviously being baited over here.
All this stuff happens in Ezra's tower.
Yeah. Oh,
Damn.
it's a good fight. Also, I would have just run out of there. I would not have like continued to go. Yeah, obviously there are death troopers out there. He wasn't going to go by himself, but yeah. Oof, what do you do to traitors like that? This is how Thrawn triangulates where the rebels are hiding on Chopper Base.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. So he removed the planet. Why am I blanking on the planet? Adelon. I wanted to say
Avalon.
Avalon.
Close enough.
In the episode through Imperial Eyes, which is one of the best of the whole season, the whole series. He looks rough right there. He got his ass kicked. Oh, poor Callus. Here's the thing. He deserves it a little bit. I know he comes around and is a good guy, and you know my take on redemption. I'm not very forgiving or super into the redemption piece for all of these villains, but we'll allow it with him. But I don't mind him getting beat up a little in the process.
The animation in this season is so much more fluid than it was in season 1. Like it's gotten so good.
Yeah. It's such an upgrade. I mean, I was rewatching as part of Summer Snips and everything. We were watching some early seasons of Clone Wars, right? Holy hell. The way that animation has progressed in the past 10 plus years, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, totally.
Mike, you bring up a good point. Redemption is big in Christianity, and I know it's a big religious theme in general. We talked a lot about on the Ahsoka wrap-up show on Wednesday, the religious themes that we saw in the Ahsoka show. And I know that the Unifying Force is going to be doing an episode. They had a different topic this past Sunday, but in 2 weeks, they're going to have a whole thing on like all the religious symbolism and meanings and everything in the Ahsoka show. Of course, the Force itself is a question of faith,
Yeah.
if not religion. The Jedi are religion, but like the Force is just, you know, God or faith or whatever, right? Like less prescribed. Oh, what was that?
Oh no.
Girl. Gravity well's engaged.
Dang. And the
Yeah.
Chimera.
Yep. Yeah, there's a blockade. So you know how in Empire Strikes Back they talk about how silly it is that you know, the ships are flying out in one direction when the planet is like this big or whatever, and there's a blockade over here. But there are specific hyperspace lanes that you need to hit and specific coordinates you need to get to. And the ships can form blockades. And in this case, I've never heard the phrase gravity well before this episode, but I believe that's a thing. Like they do create some logic as to why you'd have to fly toward, the ships in order to get through. You have to go through as opposed to around or whatever. This is brutal. I don't want your surrender. Let us proceed. Oh, girl.
Seriously.
Yeah. It's a really good plan. Don't argue with Hera.
Yeah, but the mystical Jedi stuff is like, he knows what he's talking about.
Mhm.
They need to trust each other here.
Yeah.
Just you, Ezra. Just you.
And he'd be great at rallying. Like, if you want to send someone out to gather your crew, it's Ezra, right? He's going to call up Hondo. He's going to call up Lando. He's going to call up all the other randos that they've met over the course of their 3
Lando
seasons.
and the randos.
Saw Gerrera, Mon
All the
Mothma.
does.
Yeah, all the does. He will. I would put my money on Ezra. Like, he delivers. He comes through with the help.
Yes, the mission unites around the low threat.
Oh, I'd watch a Hondo series. That would be really fun.
Yeah.
I was hoping when they announced Skeleton Crew and I heard that pirates were involved, like, we've got to see Hondo come back. I know he's not a villain anymore. Maybe he's a good pirate and there are villainous pirates. I think that could be really, really fun.
Also, like, shout out to Jamie for this past weekend finally getting to meet Vanessa Marshall in person. And
It's so exciting.
oh, I was so happy for her. Like, I know the con wasn't that great, but she definitely made it with it.
I was having this exact conversation with someone a few weeks ago about I've been to a terrible con with great experiences, and I've been to great cons with terrible experiences. Like, it's all about your own individual, like,
Oh, yeah,
who did you meet and what
totally.
did you get done, and all of that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to New York Comic Con, although I'll be working it, so I don't think it'll be like a great con. But I am excited about the meetup that's happening this Saturday. That's going to be at the Times Square edition. I guess Kathy Chase set up the details. There is an event on the Facebook page. I will be there. I know Kathy will be there. And we're going to be, I love that we picked Times Square. I joke the center of art and culture in New York, but it's close to the convention center.
Yeah, it's not too far. It's about a half mile away.
Not even. Like, the Times Square is at 42nd Street, and the Javits Center is on 34th, 35th, but it is a couple avenues over. So I would say it's like a 15-minute walk.
Yeah. I used to stay like at the halfway point between the Port Authority and the Javits, just so I would have like that half mile to walk either way.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's the graphic for the meetup.
Yes, make sure you guys go so I can live vicariously through you, because I'm really sad about missing New York Comic Con this year, and I wish I could go.
If you can swing a day trip, I can get you in.
I would love to make it on Friday. I'm supposed to meet Chris Evans with my friend, and I'm so bummed. But like, I don't know, just my bus tickets, like paying your bills. Adulting is dumb, but
Yeah, it sucks.
So
I was just organizing for Rhode Island Comic Con, I was like, I'll be going to the show, but I don't need to buy any. I don't need to buy anything because partially we're like going through like stuff over here, trying to get rid of stuff. I would like less stuff. And Jason's like, didn't you just buy the Ghost? And I was like, I know, don't do that.
Well, that's
We're making
important,
room.
Jason. That's
Yeah.
very
Well, exactly. So yeah, and I told you he was the one who was like, yeah, you're approved for the Ghost.
Yay.
But like I'm really in the camp that we just have too much stuff and I don't like it. It's actually like causing me anxiety. And it's not fun. Like I want to display the stuff I love, like the stuff that's behind me. Like all of this is great, but then there's too much other crap. Just like the Rebels poster. I want to focus on that. So if I can add to that, great. If not, I don't really care.
I am so excited for Rhode Island. Like I cannot wait
Yeah.
to meet everybody and have fun and yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man,
Rhode Island is
Aaron,
gonna be the one.
it's so fun.
It's I would say the premier meetup outside of Celebration, I think.
Ugh.
This is a mess out here.
Oh yeah.
The rebels get decimated this episode. It's actually like again really bleak. It is the Empire Strikes Back sort of timing.
Meets Last Jedi. Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's that middle chapter kind of things feel a little bit hopeless. Yeah, you need a small ship that can get through. Oh. If you're General Dodonna too, like you have seen this, like you've seen this film before, you know.
And the worst part is Callus is getting a front row seat to this, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah, and he's like, I somehow helped cause this, but it's not his fault. I mean, look, Thrawn is on paper the best military commander in the Imperial fleet, right? That's how he was written by Timothy Zahn. That's how they try to port him into Rebels. You can claim how successful that they are in that execution of that. I think people have said like his role in Rebels is not as strong as it was in the original books, and they're hoping that when we see him in live action in the next thing, whatever it is after the Ahsoka show, that we really get to see him lead a fleet and like decimate the ships of the New Republic and whatnot, right? I think that's what people are looking forward to because that's how he was written best in the books. Like he's able to see what other people can't. He's able to identify weaknesses, and just military strategy just comes really naturally to him, and he's incredibly intelligent, and that's hard to write, right? Like we write a lot of weird, silly stuff in Star Wars Rebels, but I'm no war tactician. I'm gonna mention Minister Tuo when she's like, I don't know the ways of war, and then she gets exploded. Like I don't know. I wouldn't know how to go about writing him in a better way.
Constantine, you jerkface.
Oh, that's right. So this works out because Constantine is useless and doesn't follow orders. And it allows Ezra to escape.
Oh, and Thrawn knows it too.
Yeah.
Look at Constantine being all smug like it was his plan all along. Whatever, dude. Oh. R.I.P. Commander Sato.
Oh. It's a very Holdo maneuver. Yep, Mike. And you have to stay focused, right? You can't even feel the feeling for like a second.
Dang. Oh, Hera. Yeah. You could, Mike. You really could.
And look, they've taken some losses before. I remember watching Vader shoot out every X-wing except for Hera, right? Like she was the only one who made it out. Um, or not, they weren't X-wings. Were they still Y-wings? Look at how beautiful this animation is, though. I'm annoyed by the
Damn.
Bendu.
Yeah, I was not liking him here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, there's not wrong about the Jedi. Now, why is he a cloud?
Way to go, Kanan. You insulted him into helping you.
Yeah. Look, sometimes that works. Ugh, that's so sad. Oh, that's terrible. Fair treatment for the prisoners.
You know there's no prisoners. Oh, where?
Yeah, Sabine's the answer. So, and the Mandalorians. Oh,
Written
that
by
is
Stephen
brutal.
Milching. Yeah.
It's a brutal episode. I forgot what a downer it is, guys. It's not really fun. And we try to keep the show like light despite the content, and especially with everything going on in the world. And it's been a particularly sad week in Star Wars as well. So this was not like intentional with our episode selection. You know, we're making our way through season 3. As I mentioned, next week we're going to close out with 0 Hour Part 2, and then we're going to get into some really fun stuff with the Chopper. The Chopper Killathon, and then our spooky episode. Yeah, that'll be really fun. Yeah. I did want to talk a couple plugs, and then we have an acknowledgement to make. So tomorrow's happy hour on Tuesday. There won't be an Ahsoka show to watch live, but there will be discussions to be had, and I think still more downloading. And then if you're watching Loki, and Ashley, make sure you catch up before tomorrow.
Oh, I'm going to watch it right after this. So
yeah, I really liked the first episode. I thought it was good. It picks up right where season 1 left off. It's very seamless. I will say, again, I wish I had a little more runway. I wish I had a minute to breathe because I felt like I was still digesting Ahsoka, and then all of a sudden Loki was on my TV, and I was like, what's happening? And I missed so much wrap up coverage from episode 1 or season 1 that I wanted to watch. And we're in spooky season, and I feel like I'm required to watch a horror movie every day. So there's a lot of pop culture to catch up on.
Yeah, it's a lot, but you know what? Like, this is the stuff we only could have dreamed of when we were kids.
I know.
This is the stuff that we wanted the acknowledgement for. We didn't want people like shoving us into lockers and you know, trashing our stuff that we love. We wanted people like embracing and accepting it, and now it's like widespread. So this is our golden hour, man. This is our.
There's more nerd content than we know what to do with.
Yes.
And then so join Happy Hour tomorrow. We'll probably talk about Loki. And then there's a new episode of Loki this Thursday as well. But don't watch that. Watch the VCN watch along on Thursday. We're going to be doing Mando season 3, The Gallery, which we had skipped because we were doing summer snips. So we're finally catching up on that. Wednesday is the Nerf Herder Council. Saturday is a real life meetup with the VCN at 7 p.m. So I'll be a little late to that because the show ends at 7. I'll be there closer to 8. Times Square Edition Hotel Bar till however long. And then Sunday is a new episode of Jedi Archives. And Mike Delicard, if you know the topic for this Sunday's episode of Jedi Archives, you can type it into the comments over here so everyone knows. And then, yes, Skip is hosting his big event as well, which is all over the Facebook page. So I unfortunately cannot make it to that. There's only so many things we can attend, man. It's like, but thank you for the invitation, of course. I really do have the FOMO in the worst way, like with Rhode Island Comic Con and everything else. Yep. So I see for Jedi Archives, Dark Droids issues 1 and 2. Oh yeah, it's in the graphic. I think I posted that yesterday.
Yep.
So I should have written that down. And then we have an acknowledgement to make. It's really sad. Shauna Tripsick, unfortunately passed away this week. She was a costume designer working on the Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Ahsoka. She was Emmy nominated. She also worked on Firefly, which we talk about on this show all the time. It came as a real shock. And I know everyone in the Star Wars community was sending their condolences out to her family. There is I saw a Kickstarter. Not Kickstarter, GoFundMe for everything. For funeral costs to help her family and everything. So if you're in a position where that's something you could support, it is on our Facebook page. And of course, if anyone has any memories they want to share of her on the page, I'm sure people would love to see that. I always find that the best way to heal is to remember the good times you had with the person. If anyone here has gotten to meet her, it's heartbreaking. She was very young too. She was only in her 50s.
Yeah, 56 years old. Honestly, going to the Mandalorian exhibit last year at Celebration Anaheim and getting to see her work up close and personal, be it on Garza Fwip's costume, which was stunning to see up close. You can see all the detail that Shauna and Jennifer Beals put into designing the costumes for Garza. Ahsoka, the first appearance of Ahsoka, you get to see her gray outfit, all the armor, a Cobb Vanth costume, all of that. Just Fennec Shand. Ming-Na Wen shared a great story about how Shauna had texted her and said that they found a cookie in her glove as Fennec Shand, and she used to hide snacks. She couldn't always get to the craft table, so she would hide snacks in those big gloves and just eat them during downtime. And it was so sweet, and I know that she loved the fans and she loved costuming no matter your skill level. She was always there to help people. Just an incredible talent. I was going through all the photos I took at the Mandalorian exhibit and just all the up close detail I took of the fabrics and everything. Things you don't even think of. You just think, oh, that looks cool on screen. But when it's in front of you and you get to see the patterns and every little bit of beadwork and sewing and stitching and keeping with the theme of the galaxy far, far away and limiting the zippers and the buttons and everything and just making it look so seamless. It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. And it's a true loss for everyone who knew her, whether personally or you knew her work. And I'm really gonna miss her.
I know, it's just and what you're saying about the intricacy of her designs, and everyone who's worked on the latest stack of Star Wars shows, I could tell you, I work in this space. I work on costumes, and every now and then we'll get access to something physically. Usually it's 3D turns, photography, things like that. You can see the amount of care and love and attention that goes into these things. Every now and then you'll see a shitty post on Instagram or Twitter where it's I identified the shoes that people are wearing. There's something about boots right now where they're these are available on Amazon. And I was one, most things are available on Amazon. And two, you need a source for a lot of these things, especially as a starting point. You can call up when I was working on some new trilogy stuff back when I was at Topps, we were given some information about where fabric came from to make the costumes. And so you could call that fabric house, and then you buy like yards of fabric. And so I would be on the phone with these fabric houses in England, and there's like a minimum 3-yard purchase, and then there's a cutting fee, and then I have to mail it from England, and I'm putting it on my credit card, and all this junk, to then have swatches in our trading cards, made from the same material that was used in the creation of the costume. You can see like just there's no such thing as like a basic red fabric. There's like these incredible intricate, like gorgeous pieces. And we would see just the amount of research that went into making these incredibly complicated layered costumes, that even a little swatch of like one piece of material, which is part of a much larger costume, still looked like a work of art. It was incredible.
There's, oh my God. And the amount of work that she put into refurbishing, for example, her wedding dress to be Inara's ball gown in Firefly, like, and designing Mal's brown coat, like the original brown coat.
She
Like
created that? Oh,
did.
wow.
She
Yeah.
was a legend in the sci-fi, and
See, I didn't even realize that.
she's just she actually donated to an auction for the Browncoats ball, some costume pieces that she had in her private collection from Firefly and Serenity, and she just loved it. She loved the fandoms. It was an honor to have her in the galaxy far, far away, and
Yeah.
it's it's just the saddest thing, and my heart goes out to everyone who knew her and her family and friends. It's the saddest thing. And she was so happy for that trip too. She was on a trip to Palm Springs and posted amazing photos about it, and oh, I just feel horrible.
I'm scrolling through the IMDb page, which I did earlier, and I can't believe I missed this. She worked on Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power
The
Rangers, which,
show.
as
Yeah.
everyone knows, I am a Morphin fanatic, and very excited about the new Netflix season and everything. And she worked on my era. She worked on Mighty Morphin, so 93 to 96. I don't know if she worked on any of the others, but that's a time capsule of the 90s right there. Yeah, her work will live on forever. She worked on Angel,
Toys.
Dr. Horrible sing-along blog, and again,
Yes.
the disclaimer on Whedon, but like the show holds up. She worked on Torchwood, loved Torchwood. Yeah, Husbands, which is that's like from some of the same people who worked on some of the Whedon shows. Much Ado About Nothing, which is another Whedon thing. It's funny. It looks like she's part of the Whedon mafia. This is crazy. Here's the thing. It's heartbreaking. It's devastating. I remember when I saw the post, I was like rattled by it.
Yeah.
We'll be able to remember her forever. Her work will
yeah.
like she has a legacy. Like she's, aside from the fact that it's a list on IMDb, we're gonna physically see the work she did forever. It's kind of amazing. Like we should all be so lucky as to like leave behind that kind of like physical reminder as to who we were while we were here, to be able to say we like made an impact, right? Like I think we're all kind of trying to do something like that, and it looks like she really did. And her, not just her work, but people seem to have really have nothing but amazing things to say about her as a person as well. So it's a terrible loss for the Star Wars fandom. It's been a rough year with Rey and her, and just like it's been a tough year.
It really has. It's just all these people who have so much good to bring to the world, and it's just a shame and a real loss. And I implore you, even if you have $1 to spend, please donate to her GoFundMe.
Mhm.
Her children could definitely use it to help with the funeral costs and their lives after this. So.
Mhm. And it couldn't have been easy too, because like everyone's been on strike for the past however many months. So whatever work you thought was coming down the line, it's been really hard for the writers, the actors. Everyone else has been affected by the shutdown of production. So even if your particular guild or union hasn't been on strike, like if you're part of like the Teamsters who work or like in production on the show, shows are closed down. So whether you're part of the strike or not, if you're not part of SAG or the writers, you're also out because there's nothing filming right now. So everyone is dealing with like long form unemployment. Like we all remember when COVID first happened, and I think a lot of people who were like furloughed, furlough used to be a military term. like it was that was your like time away from the boat when you were in the Navy, right? But
Right.
now we were put on essentially unemployment, right? And then everyone, a lot of people lost their jobs. Like 2020 was just devastating, and then to be just a few years later, huge number of people out of work for a long period of time. It looks like people are coming back, but it's been really tough. This whole year has just been a struggle. Obviously, the news in the world is not great right now, and it's why we try to come in every Monday, do something fun. I will say this was not the most fun episode of Star Wars Rebels. Not the uplifting, sort of silly, Melu Run Fruit sort of style
Yeah.
story.
No madcap capers in this episode.
Yeah, no,
No
no
side
giggling.
quests.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of doom and gloom.
Yeah, which
Sorry.
happens sometimes in Rebels, and it happens sometimes in life, unfortunately, as well.
Yeah.
But hopefully, we'll get to bring some, we'll get some togetherness. Like Mike is saying, we get to hang out, we get to see each other. Tomorrow is happy hour, and then Saturday is real life happy hour. And for anyone who's going to be at New York Comic Con, as like Ashley is right here. I feel terrible that you're not going to be there. I don't know, come with me, just come down, come for the
I
day.
know. I want
Um,
to. If I can make it work, I'll make it work.
I will be there. I'll be working the whole time. But I will be at booth 32, 35, at the Genuo Novo booth with all my helmets, hawking my wares like I always
Go
do.
try on some
Um,
helmets. Honestly, it
yeah,
popped up in my memories day before yesterday of me trying on the Sabine helmet and
nice.
posing with you. And I was like, now I own that helmet. I'm so glad I pulled the trigger on it.
I'm glad you did too, because it's sold out and will not be back in stock for it's going to be a while, because we still have to do the Sabine season 4. And I told you we had to move manufacturing sites. So that's been a whole thing.
Boy.
We're numerous items right now are on pre-order because we couldn't keep up with our domestic manufacturing. So we are now moving things to China. Unfortunately, it means there's delays, but it also means we'll be able to place big production orders. Our domestic manufacturing was more of like a design studio with a little bit of scale up for production, but not big enough. And so we just had to when you draw a line in the sand, it's like, okay, this isn't working. We need to just reevaluate. So all that stuff that we were barely keeping up on, we fulfilled the last of the orders that were outstanding, and then we're moving production overseas to where a lot of our other stuff was already being made, like our Stormtrooper kit and our TIE Fighter helmets and our Stormtrooper helmets. Those items are now going to be made overseas as well, and we'll get a big order coming in the middle of next year, in waves, including more Sabine season 2, the Sabine season 4, and then maybe a third Sabine helmet. We shall see. So
Season 3. Season 3.
I'm looking into what that could be. So
Exciting.
but if you're interested in coming by the Denuo booth at New York Comic Con this week,
Go
we're
say
gonna have our
hi.
come see me. Come take pictures, come hang out, come meet me in person. I love to meet the rest of I love meeting people from the Facebook group. That's why I joined this group. I like meeting people. I'm a Star Wars nerd first and foremost. So come on by. I've got Rebels Revisited cards to hand out. And then we're going to have our flight suits in person, which is really nice because you'll get to see those for
Ooh,
the first time. We've
I'm
got X-Wing
excited.
pilots and TIE Fighter pilots, which is great.
That's awesome.
And matching helmets to go with them, which I'm very excited about. And then what else is new? The Snow Trooper helmet's new. The
Dameron.
Poe Dameron's pretty new. The Patrol Trooper is, I think, our newest. So that'll be New York Comic Con, and then I'm going to try to find some downtime to just walk around and see who is there, because the list is bonkers for New York Comic Con as to who's the Star Wars guests. It's out of control.
I really looking forward to meeting Mary Elizabeth Winstead and going to say hi to Justin and Lauren Mary Kim and all the rest of the Ahsoka stunt crew and costuming crew that he's bringing to New York Comic Con. So make sure you guys go by SW Props on Instagram and see just who Justin Nunes is bringing to
a lot
New
of
York
first
Comic-Con.
timers.
Total first timers. And it absolutely pains me to say that Shauna was on that list. This was going to be her first New York Comic Con, and I'm devastated for them. But you know what? I believe they'll do her proud, and they'll answer all your questions. Tell you how they molded and they painted and everything else. So make sure you go say hi and check out the stunt crew. Like Lauren is amazing. It's Shin stunt double, Ray's stunt double. Oh, sorry, Shin. Ivana's and Ray's stunt doubles. Even like young Ahsoka's stunt double. Like amazing, amazing talent.
Yeah.
So make sure you go by and see them. So.
I know I plan on swinging by. I'm going to try to anyway. I'm going to ask him to have them swing by me if possible, since I'm going to be mostly tethered to the booth.
Yeah, go try
But
on some helmets.
yeah,
Make this happen.
exactly. Come on by. They're helmeted usually anyway, or somehow shot from a way that we can't always see their face.
Right.
But that's very cool that the stunt team, the behind the scenes team, the production people are getting the shout outs. We actually talked about this in Ahsoka, how Brendan Wayne, who's been the Mandalorian
Who will
for the
also
last
be at
3 years,
New York
yeah, he's
Comic-Con.
going to be there. He and Lateef are both going to be
Yes.
there. Brendan got to do a scene in Ahsoka where he plays a pilot and you get to actually see his face, which is nice, right? Like, by the way, we all know he's the Mandalorian. He's in the suit almost all the time
He's
when it's
the
not
gunslinger,
like,
yes.
yeah, he's the gunslinger. Lateef is the stunt guy, and then we have, I think, a martial arts sort of expert, as well as a third guy, and I'm blanking on his name. And then I think there's a legit stand-in as well. So I was like, how many people are in this suit? This is going to be Boba Fett all over again. So
Yep.
yeah, which is good. I like
Yeah.
when all those people are getting the accolades, getting the credit. I worked in trading cards for a long time, and we had very specific rules as to who could sign and all of that. But it looks like now more and more people like accurately are getting credit for being associated with the role. And part of that goes back to the unions, right? Unions fight for credit. And so when you read the credits at the end of the show, and it's like this person is listed as this particular character or stunt person for this or performance model for that, like I would go to the PR team and be like, this person is credited as X, and like, yep, and that's how you can write it on the card. Like Chris Bartlett, who plays numerous droids, you can imagine back in, if this was Return of the Jedi, he would probably just have like Chris Bartlett in like a big list of puppeteers.
By the way, shout out to Chris Bartlett for showing up on Shining Vale. That's awesome. He is a scary monster on Shining Vale. So that was really cool to find out this week. And I just, I love the fact that, the stunt teams and the creatives behind the scenes are all getting their roses now. Behind the scenes stuff is like always fascinated me, like animators, voice actors, stunt actors, doubles, like things like that, makeup artists, hair artists, costumers, like anything that puts together a production, anything that is a piece of the puzzle to the final product that we all know and love, absolutely has fascinated me my whole life. So the fact that they're getting more and more love is just makes my little soul happy. So
yeah, same. Now we just need an Academy Award for stunt work. That's
he's
long
that
overdue.
crazy goat dude, Aaron. Oh my god, yeah.
And for the animation people out there, James Arnold Taylor will be at New York Comic-Con.
Yeah,
so will James Marsters, better known for Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, but he's in one episode of the Clone Wars. So feel free to get something signed from that. I want to say Matt Lanter and Ashley Eckstein are also going to be there. There's just a slew of
Mary, Ewan, who else?
I know it's a lot of people, and I should have pulled together. Katie Sackhoff will be there. Mercedes Vernado, Simon, like a bunch of the Mandos will be there. So, it's all really good stuff. And then there's just, the Liam O'Brien who
Tate will be there too. It's exciting.
Yeah. It's a wild list of people. I have to really think about like whether
Joanna Bennett, yes, definitely her too.
Like, I kind of want Matt Lanter to sign my Rebels poster.
You should.
Yeah. I know. I keep thinking, like, wait, did I already have him signed? I think I did.
Katie and Omid too. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Because Katie is just the best. Katie and Omid, absolutely amazing people. We got to see them at Rhode Island, and it's the place to be.
Yeah. I can't wait for Rhode Island. I can't believe we're already at New York and we're talking Rhode Island, and then it's Christmas and then Happy New Year. We'll be in Japan soon enough. And Ron Perlman will be there. That's what I was thinking of, because I was like, he's also in the Clone Wars. And of course, like, he's known for many, many, many other things, but Hellboy probably being, I would say, the geekiest of like the sci-fi kind of stuff.
Of course.
Yeah. I think that's it for this week. Again, thank you everyone for joining us and
We love
making
you
our
guys.
Monday a little bit better. Yes, we do. That's why we do this. I always joke it's not for the paycheck. Um, so we enjoy spending our time chatting with you guys, talking Star Wars, and looking forward to seeing you guys in person as well.
Yes, so excited. What paycheck? Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it's been almost a year and a half now in December that we've been doing this. And
That's crazy.
honestly,
Yeah,
like, and we're not running out of content yet. So thank
I
you, Dave
know.
Filoni. We
We have some.
appreciate you.
We have some ideas. We're going to be doing more of these best of. So after the
Yes.
Chopper Killathon, we will get back to I think character specific best ofs. Since the Zeb one was such a hit, I can't tell you how many
Thank
people
you.
messaged me about the Zeb
Yeah.
episode. So yeah, if we're monetizing, I need my nickel. That's pretty much like it. It's where it
No,
rounds
you
to.
get 25 cents. You're the
Yeah.
program manager.
Exactly. Right off the top, a nickel from every show. But in all seriousness, we love being here and we love
Yeah.
being able to spend our time with you guys. And it's a privilege and it's something that we come prepared every week. Like we are here ready to talk Rebels. You see our notes. We take this seriously
The
and
Google Bible.
yeah,
Yes.
the Google Doc is out of control. One day I feel like we should just like share the doc with everyone for like a 24-hour period. Just like here's your chance to read it and then we'll close it again because it is wild. Or
It
we
is
publish it like a book.
expensive. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yes, you're
Extensive is the
welcome,
word.
Mike. Yeah,
Yeah.
you campaigned so hard, and it was an honor to do that for you. And
Yep. He was rigging the vote, but I think it's okay.
the only way it could get better is if we have Steve on it. Maybe someday. We'll
At
see.
some point, we have to get back to that. So once the actor strike is officially over, we will try to resume doing interviews with people because I really enjoyed doing that, and I'm really excited about these best ofs. I had so much fun in that Zeb episode, and I'm ready for Chopper. And then I think after Chopper, we were talking about either Hera or Sabine. So we may put up another poll because I think the poll really activated people to like throw down. So.
And also, like, I saw a lot of votes from people who don't normally show up in the chat, so that was kind
Yeah.
of cool. Get the buzz out there and
Exactly.
hear
We
what
got
people
lots
have
of
to say.
characters to choose from. There's no shortage of characters in
Nope.
Rebels. So, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it was great to be with you this week, and we will see you next Monday for all the VCN goodness on Rebels Revisited.
All right. Good night, guys. May the Force be with you.
Bye, guys.
I'm texting Jeff right now to end the broadcast.
I know. Sorry, guys.
Night, guys.
No worries.
Wah, wah.